What is Dior?
Oh, I wonder how this PC runs this Ghost of Tsushima.
I need coal to make these sandwiches and crudites, or whatever the hell they're called.
This is the Ebo predicted Doge Pump. What is Doge Pump?
You were playing accelerated catch-up, exactly. And you bit your teeth, and you bit your tongue, and you ran forward.
Yes, that.
Bit your teeth. Oh my god.
Squeeze banana in my mouth. It comes in denim.
Oh, don't still. Let's not go there. Yeah, well, it's not 2 streams. It's 1 stream. Oh, it's perfect.
I'm sure it does annoy me when I mispronounce things in the past. It is what it is. All day long.
Thanks for the wall. That was brilliant, Fraudy. That was fucking brilliant, man. Oh my god. What else you got, dude? Your channel's brilliant. Enjoy your ban. Oh no. CSP. Oh my god, what are all these? Alright, we'll start with this. I haven't seen this.
I have no problem e-begging.
Big, 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 big. All I see you do is...
Dexter did a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Dexter.
Close it down, put your cup underneath, and then that beautiful bean goodness. Mmm.
I'm not. I talk good England.
I talk good English.
Now that we're ready, let's get into it.
Oh.
necessarily going to eat this entire breakfast. Just take a bite out of here. Let's see what this is like. Oh.
Oh, the new vest. It's 2, 3, 4.
Remember the bubbles? I have bubbles on. I better have bubbles on here. Yes, I do.
I'm never blowing bubbles ever again.
Oh my god! And again, he literally is he's such a dumbass because he used to push the bubbles to get likes on the stream, but he used to delete all the streams, so all the engagement meant nothing anyway because YouTube wouldn't help you in the algorithm. So it made his bubble obsession so ridiculous. Oh my god, it comes... Listen, I'm coming on, Denim. He'd never blow bubbles.
Harry
Taught me how to do this. I didn't know anything about the code.
I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I have a dark passenger.
Yeah, well, because it's against tariffs and they're
Hey, Rich,
corporatists.
did you see what the Supreme Court did today ruling against Trump and the tariffs in question? Because I'm not an American, what does that do to the tariffs? Do they get taken away?
You know, they want U.S. to dole out the money to everyone they took tariff money from.
Look at us, 2 men with robust tipples. Fart.
God almighty. Yes, so Doug, I did see that.
I watched Ozark, but I thought it was okay.
How bad you want that casino?
Bad.
Fuck off, Dr. Phil.
You said you'd do anything to get that final vote on the casino. I always wondered if you were lying.
You are under arrest on suspicion of being an accessory to money laundering.
Sounds like you're in a perfect position to make a donation to the business school.
Oh, this is weird. You're going after, like... There's Blaqksheep right there. What is he playing? SeaWorld Battle? Diddy and Epstein connection to Kirk's murder? What? Oh, all right. I'll bite.
So the thing that keeps getting me is...
Dude, I get away from, like, politics and shit for 2 minutes. Widespread snow on the way for Sunday. That's near me. All right, we'll go back to this. Oh my God, ADHD, but no.
Weather impact alert for our weekend, Jeremy.
Yes, it starts on Sunday and continues through Monday. We've got a coastal low pressure system on the way that'll bring us a swath of snowfall, especially further down towards the south and east. Schuylkill, Carbon, Monroe counties, you'll see the bullseye in our area of this snowfall, whereas the
Your beard is powerful.
main accumulation of this snow will happen along the I-95 corridor. Right now, we're dealing with a few rain showers here in the backyard. And of course, we have the weather impact alert. Boston down to Ball. The winter storm watch is in effect. Those raindrops on the way.
Oh, this ain't for me. Let me just look on my phone. I didn't, yeah, it just got into like the deep lore of the detractors. Let me see here. 10-day. Yeah, nothing special. Snow likely, light, additional, moderate. No, they're saying moderate snow. Thank you, bearded man, for your incredible beard.
The people that were in the room, like with Diddy, the people who were at those parties weren't random. They were very selected, and they were very carefully selected. And the people rolling the camera
Kind of just assumed there had to be some connection with Diddy and Epstein. They were basically doing the same shit.
weren't doing it for memories. So when I tell you that Erica Kirk's husband's casket moment and all the footage that we're not asking for, the person standing next to her filming that was her head of fundraising at Turning Point USA. I need you to ask yourself, what is that footage for? Where does it go? Who has it? Because when your husband dies, you don't call your fundraiser. You just don't. So who did she call? Why did she call them? Why wasn't her family there? And before I go any further, I'm Lauren Paritra.
Why haven't we even had a statement, even a written statement from Charlie's family? Where are the parents? Why is no one asking? Why the fuck we haven't heard a single thing from the parents? I find that so fucking bizarre. And no one's bringing that up. Where the fuck are the parents? Nano Kitten, how are you?
This is Willa Paritra. We're going to ask you to please subscribe. If you're new here, we currently have a lead on Katie Miller, who is the wife of Stephen Little Bitch Miller, the pale white nationalist from Santa Monica, behind all of this ICE terror. We cannot grow without your support, so consider every sub, every like, every comment, every share, and FU to Katie and Stephen Little Bitch Miller.
You know what I'm gonna say in my videos? When I make, because I'll have that video on Xbox tomorrow. Come on, man. You want me to? I have to outpace subscribers. I have to get more subscribers than Locale Live, and I'm almost fucking there. Let's go. Leave a like, leave a comment, sub to the channel.
So there's this archive thing, and this is the part that really keeps me going. With Epstein, the document sealing was aggressive. There were flight logs that they fought over in court for years. With Diddy, before his arrest, his social media got wiped right before everything came out. Now, with Erica and Charlie's podcast,
I don't get why fucking people do that. The white.
And his voice, his years of content, it's suddenly gone from Spotify.
You want to get off a platform like I got off of X, I get that. I wanted to do that a few times. That's different, but if you're wiping it because I want anyone to find out what I was saying or doing, motherfucker, you're done from that aspect. You know?
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube simultaneously with no announcement, no explanation, and we're also like, This man was just murdered, and his voice is being quietly removed from every platform people actually use to consume content. It's still on Rumble, still on the Turning Point USA's site, but come on, like, you know what Rumble is. That's not preservation. What's in those episodes that needed to be disappeared from the Gen Pop? The official story thing is that part that kind of makes me feel a little crazy. With Epstein, we're supposed to accept that he himself alone in a federal facility with cameras that just turned off.
Sure.
And we're supposed to move on from that. With Diddy, for years the story was that he was just eccentric and he was just over the top. And the industry was like, y'all are being dramatic. Now with Erica, we're supposed to believe Tyler Robinson acted alone, case closed, and Erica's going.
Rich, did you get my Wolverine figure? First.
Yes, I stole your Wolverine figure. That story is one of his best stories to this
On
day.
Fox News to herself to shut anything down. She's firing people on her team who are asking questions. She's asking for a speedy trial. We're not hearing a lot of conversations between her and law enforcement. We're not really hearing from a spokesperson. We're hearing from the widow directly. And she's personally expressing what she's calling righteous anger at anyone pulling at the thread. So why is that her job? The beneficiary piece.
It's funny, she's throwing to the dog because the dog wants to play fetch. Here, hold on. Anyway.
Is what my brain won't let go of. With Epstein, the legal maneuvering around his estate started immediately after he died. The people positioned to benefit were already in position before anything even happened. And with Erica, within 8 days, she became the CEO of a multi-million-dollar organization with a donor network, and media platform,
and
massive political
Oh shit!
infrastructure.
Oh no!
8 days after her husband is murdered. She now controls the narrative around his posthumous book. So who benefits from Charlie being? Because that one
should have
person is
singled.
out
You should have
here,
singled it and moved.
they're either grieving something they lost or celebrating something that they've gained, and those are two very different energies.
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Sorry,
she's
Sharp.
celebrating something that she's just seeing dollar signs right there.
And I think you already know which one this one looks like. And then the grief itself is a thing too, because this is the part that, like, we're still awkward about saying out loud. When Epstein died, the people closest to him lawyered up. When Diddy got arrested, his inner circle made very carefully worded choices, and they created distance.
Or you could be like, what was his name? Who just like wiped his whole. Oh, I can picture his face. R&B singer. He's white. He's like, oh yeah, I accidentally deleted all of my posts. I don't know how that happened. Oh really? It just so happened almost at the exact same time the shit went down with Diddy that you're deleting shit. Get real.
With this Erica Kirk situation, we're seeing the Fox News residency, we're seeing Mar-a-Lago fundraisers, $10,000 a plate dinners, telling women to stay home and take care of their children while she was doing the
exact opposite. Dude, yeah, that's a good question.
I'd like to know why Erica Kirk didn't make an appearance at the MAGA Safe Space halftime show.
Yeah, good point.
complete opposite, while she's on every news network for weeks. Grief doesn't look one specific way, but at some point it doesn't look like this. And then the Candace Owen piece is complicated because Owens, we know, is not necessarily a good faith actor. She's got her own agenda. She left Turning Point USA under.
She's a fucking. She platformed Harvey Weinstein and tried to make him out to be a victim. Yeah, let's not.
Bad circumstances and has a financial stake in being correct. So it would be easy to look at her and go, okay, Candace Owens is unhinged, Erica's grieving, she's just weird, leave her alone. But Cassie filed a lawsuit against Diddy in 2023. They settled in 24 hours. People called her a liar. They said it was a money grab. 1 year later,
Diddy's now in jail. Not he still got it. He got away with it, in my opinion.
Hotel footage dropped. Does focusing on how messy the messenger is just let us avoid ever actually answering the questions? I'll leave you with this because I don't know what to do with it. Charlie Kirk's
at least from the
phone,
back.
his personal phone, Erica still has it.
At least from the back.
It's still very much not a closed case. Some might say it's an active murder investigation, and the FBI hasn't seized this evidence. Why not?
Because they're in on it. They know what happened. It should be an active murder investigation.
We're going to keep digging in here. And again,
like Trump's attempted assassin. I think that was staged too. I'm almost positive that was staged. Man, that was just gone.
I'm Lauren Paritra. This is Willa Paritra. Katie Miller is building a
Yeah, why is everyone hating on her?
podcast on the backs of trafficked immigrants and children. We cannot let her gain any more ground. So consider every sub, every comment, every like, every share a personal to Katie and Stephen Little Bitch Miller and to Turning Point
Oh,
USA, for
shit.
that matter. We can't drown out voices like
Defending
that
it.
without elevating
Defending
voices
it.
like. So
Like the dogs.
let us know in the
Holy
comments if you
shit.
want us to talk more about
Oh
that.
shit.
Joe Rogan in full panic mode. All right.
Barrels. Barrels.
No, I don't like this format. I like her. I like
Oh!
him. Don't like the format. It's not that they don't work together well either. It's just not.
Oh, wow.
Schumer blasts Trump's tantrum. Yeah, fuck Chuck Schumer in the ass. All right, well, you know what? I want to get angry. I like getting angry. It's entertaining for you.
All right, let's get down.
Hello, everybody. I'm Chuck Schumer. I'm now going to pretend that I'm animated. This is me pretending. Fuck Donald Trump. I think she's a pretty. Everyone like she's a pretty girl. Get real. I mean, I like thick Hispanic women with big asses. That's my preference. And titties. But I don't really think we can. I guess looks are subjective. I get it, but I don't think she's ugly by any stretch of the imagination. I think she's a very pretty girl.
To business. Joining me now is
I am now going to release UFO and alien files, and everyone needs to forget about the Exxon files.
Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, no. Oh, that is in here. Look at the Jostler made this. Shout out to Jostler. And there's so much context to this. This tells like a 10-page story right here. Oh, he wishes.
Democratic leader of the Senate, Chuck Schumer. This is quite a day. I'm honored you could join me. First,
I can put my shirt. Hello, everybody. I'm Chuck Schumer, and I'm angry. Because there's that, it's not just random, weird, funny shit. It actually all means something, which makes it even better. Hello, everyone. We will watch the Zoran video, anything and everything. For Christ's sake. I was planning on watching it anyway, but...
the president aside, your reaction,
Very hard to do.
Your reaction to today's Supreme Court ruling.
First, the Supreme Court did what everyone knew was the right thing. When Trump did the...
Once again, it was because corporations probably pressured them. Let's not forget that. Because most of the time they rule with Trump. They side with Trump, the Supreme Court. Make no fucking mistake. This was because moneyed interests wanted them to rule in this. So let's not all fucking start dry humping. Oh, wow, maybe it's democracy. Yeah, okay. Stop having so much faith in humanity.
He used this so-called emergency doctrine, which never mentioned tariffs at all. Everyone knew that if the court was ruling correctly, they would...
Because he wants to literally be a king. He doesn't want to have to go through Congress for anything. That's why he does so many executive orders.
Listen, I'm gonna wear knee pole clamps.
It said it actually. You saying knee pole made it work. Yeah, Mr. Cory Booker is the same thing. Hakeem Jeffries too. Cory Booker's worse. He's actually more agreeable, but they're all talk. They're we're gonna fight Trump, but behind the scenes, oh yeah, we have the same corporate donors, so yay, we're gonna vote with fascism. Yeah, but the thing, I know they're not law, but Trump don't give a fuck about the law either. No one does anything to him. Oh my God. Fuck all these people, and his hair looks like he just put cement in it.
Throw it out. But it's thrown America into chaos. All of the promises that Trump made is going to bring back manufacturing jobs, they're lower. It's going to lower prices, prices are higher. It's going to create a new way of...
All of these radical left judges that aren't radical left at all, they're actually quite radical right, and I appointed them, but because they didn't side with me on every single fucking ruling, now they're radical left. But he's already done that. He's literally said that about the Supreme Court, I believe. You don't think he's going to say it again? He wants them to get threatened now and to get him scared, and it has worked.
Bringing, a trade deficit's worse. Everything, it's been a disaster for the American people. And Stephanie, here's the amazing thing. The number one thing people in America care about is rising costs. Tariffs have caused them. Trump didn't mention...
Chuck is a great man, a wonderful man.
Are you fucking serious right now?
Keep our bipartisan
What the
support.
fuck?
Marty should re-elect him. No other Democrat.
Yeah, you know what? If Trump had a choice between Chuck Schumer and someone who would be even more left-leaning, actually be, I don't know, an actual Democrat, he would probably... Trump and Cuomo hated each other during COVID. Fucking hated each other. He is a Democrat, mostly just in name. But all of a sudden, there's an actual progressive like Zoran running for mayor, and him and Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo and Donald Trump were all of a sudden sucking each other's cocks. I guarantee you the same thing. They would be, if he needed to be reelected against someone who was a progressive, Chuck Schumer, which should fucking happen, Trump would support him. Mark my fucking words. Yeah, they hated each other during COVID. But he wasn't as left as Mamdani. So Trump, he's not really, he's just a Democrat in name. Let's keep it real. Andrew Cuomo's a piece of shit. So he wanted him instead. He's like, oh, if it's going to be a Democrat. Yeah.
Costs in his whole speech. He just rambled. He just went on and on. He sort of like was...
Oh, you mean his response today?
Yes.
Yes, so let's talk about his response.
It was, he was like a 10-year-old, name-calling, foot-stomping, berating Supreme...
Dude, they're literally the story behind the scenes with him shitting, but it ties into him about being a giant child. He couldn't read something from a script. He didn't understand a word, so he started having tantrums, and because he couldn't control his bowels, he was yelling, shirtless, I'm not kidding, and shitting, and he needed his assistant to change him and wipe him. You could look everything up I'm saying. He is a child. He's literally a giant 80-year-old fucking man-child, and with dementia, so he's even more childlike.
Does this game pull the items out of my ship and then leave me with empty space? Like, what the fuck?
He'll be
I need
standing
these
right across
items.
from at the State of the Union in a few days.
I think it's outrageous. Instead of reacting, what he should have done, since the tariffs have been such a disaster, what he should have done is said, hey, okay, the Supreme Court ruled, I'm getting rid of them. But he can't, and so he's coming back with another plan to impose the same tariffs that are going to keep costs up, lose our more manufacturing jobs, increase inflation, increase the trade deficit. All these bad things he's going to try again. But I got news for you, Mr. President, and this may be good for the American people. Your new way of doing it is going to be very difficult. You have to do all kinds.
You need to worry about the midterm fucking elections. You need to be calling him out on this stuff 10 times harder than you are. The whole Democratic Party needs to. And you need to do everything you can to mitigate the chances of him stealing the upcoming elections. Because even if there is a double-digit blue wave, they are going to say, oh, look, there's a double-digit blue wave. Obviously, it's not true. And they're going to do whatever they can to try to overturn that. I'm hoping they don't succeed. There's a decent chance that they won't succeed, but you need to fight for that. I don't want to hear about your theatrics and your fucking weird-ass green suit. I don't want your fake rage. I want you to fucking fight. And if you're not, go step down and fucking get a new sport jacket.
I miss the old Crooked Joe.
Yeah.
Kinds of findings and hearings and everything else for the 301 tariffs. He imposed these other tariffs illegally, as it turns out, across the board. But it ain't going to be very easy. And he doesn't even think about it. One other thing. Businesses. Small business, medium business.
I've looked it up on stream. He's taken a lot of AIPAC donations. So he's beholden to Israel too.
Earn? You need to earn?
You know what they hate? Large businesses.
You need earn?
They hate uncertainty. They hate chaos. Guess what? That's what he's done.
Yeah, today this is only going to bring us more chaos. But what happens if they don't return the money, right? Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent already said, I'm not so sure the American people or businesses are going to be getting this money back.
See you in court. They'll be back in court. If the tariffs are illegal, then the money must be returned. And Trump keeps trying to ignore the law, break the law, flaunt the law. But in many, many cases, including this one, the courts have held him responsible. And in about 2/3 of the cases that we've gone to sue Trump on, not just the Senate, but people who care about him breaking the law, he's lost. Including when a lot of Trump judges ruled.
That's another reason why he wants to try to steal the midterms, because he wants to make all this stuff.
That's why you need a sparrow like I'd have.
Including today, where 2 Trump judges ruled against him.
Actually, let me ask you about that, because in Neil Gorsuch's opinion, he warned about the problems with sidelining Congress and placing too much power in the hands of the executive branch, and he wrote, that is no recipe for a republic.
Correct.
This is a Supreme Court Justice Trump nominee.
I hope so. I mean, let them be homeless.
So often,
leave them.
Trump nominated, even these judges who are way to the right, the law is so clear it's hard for them to avoid it.
Fucking go have dinner.
The other 3 didn't, but it's
go
Congress
eat.
That's always had the power.
Yeah, Trump attacks justice.
Go eat then. Go find and eat.
God, fucking 30-minute ads.
On tariffs. And right now, I would urge my Republican colleagues, some of them don't like the tariffs. We've had some bipartisan legislation.
Most of them don't like the tariffs.
Well, but some of them are brave enough to vote against Trump's tariffs. And we have some bipartisan legislation.
Really?
I hope that this court decision...
Wasn't that like the biggest thing that you needed out of all the things you needed?
And for all, tariffs belong with the Congress, not with the White House.
Okay, but what does hope mean? Right? Mitch McConnell put out
that
a
was
very aggressive
the one thing you
statement
needed,
against the president in favor...
Can he even fucking type?
Of the Supreme Court's position. Does this mean you're going to get on the phone this weekend and start calling your Republicans?
We are, yes. We are right now talking about how we can join with Republicans to reassert Congress's power. We tried to do it previously. They didn't join us. They were afraid of Trump. They must join us now because the law is so clear. Let me tell you something. If they're going to do what's right for the American people, they'll join us. There's so much heat on these tariffs everywhere you go. Everywhere I went in New York State, whether it's in New York City, the suburbs, or in rural Republican upstate New York, people complained about these tariffs. Small businesses were going under because of these
They
tariffs.
can think that we're coming
People were
on.
paying through the nose because of these tariffs. Our tourist season in Canada, so many Canadians come down to the Finger Lakes, was kaput. The tariffs have been a disaster.
You must chafe real
There's not
hard.
a lot of TV interviews that include the word kaput. I'm so glad Chuck Schumer is here. Well, what about the people of New York? Because J.B.
Someone's up
Pritzker,
there
governor
grabbing
of Illinois,
fucking chests
sent an
and shit.
invoice to the
Going-
White House today saying we would like to
Introduce
see
them
a
to
check
three
for
mortars.
$1,700, a tariff refund check for every person in the state of
Fair.
Illinois. Should the
Okay.
people of New York State be getting something similar?
Absolutely. And why
Yep.
not? I mean, the bottom line is these
Why not? Does not invoke any confidence in me.
illegal. They were always illegal. It hurt people badly. It's hurting Trump himself in the eyes of the American people. He ought to, once he ought to admit he made a mistake. He ought to admit he's harming.
He'll never do that. One, he's a narcissist, and he's a malignant narcissist, and two, he's a fucking sociopath. All right, here we go. Finally.
If it ain't green, it's gonna get the cream.
Disappointing.
Back shots.
And I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for
Oh,
our
you
country.
are so lucky.
I'd like to thank and congratulate Justices Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh for their strength and wisdom and love of our country, which is right now very proud of those justices. When you read the dissenting opinions, there's no way that anyone can argue against them. There's no way. Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are
Holy shit.
ecstatic. They're so happy.
All those tariffs did is increase costs on the average consumer who's just buying normal products.
And they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be
Yeah.
Young spry Mitch McConnell will fix it all.
See how much it sounds like him?
God, money, I will do anything for you.
Dancing for long, that I can assure you. The Democrats on the court are thrilled, but they will automatically vote no. They're an automatic no, just like in Congress. They're an automatic no. They're against anything that makes America strong, healthy, and great again. They also are a, frankly, disgrace to
No,
our nation.
that's my
those
favorite sound.
justices.
Jesus Christ, dude.
You're an automatic no, no matter how
It's
good
so-
a case you have. It's
so
a
fucked.
no.
Yeah,
You
they're
can't knock
fine.
their loyalty. It's one thing you can do with some of our people. Others think they're being politically correct.
Oh, yeah, well, that's him shitting on his justices. Oh, yeah, dude, when you pick those justices, their job is to uphold the law, not be loyal to you. You fucking idiot, you piece of shit. This is the thing. You think, oh, and remember he pardoned that Democrat who was going to, and the Democrat didn't vote in favor of what he wanted, and he was like,
Donald
hey, I
Trump
did you that
and Regina
favor.
George.
I don't even know who Regina George is. Sorry, Sean Reagan.
I need to kill.
That's what he thinks. He thinks if he appointed you, you are beholden to him. That's not how it works, you fucking piece of shit.
Okay.
Which has happened before far too often with certain members of this court, and it's happened so often with this court. What a shame. Having to do with voting in particular, when in fact they're just being fools and lapdogs for the rhinos and the radical left Democrats, and not that this should have anything at all to do with it. They're very unpatriotic and disloyal to our Constitution.
Moderate to severe eczema.
It's unbelievable.
That's great.
It's unfucking believable. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to like experiment honestly with cannons, depending on what you want. Honestly, I do like, I like the Inrogs and the carronades. Mm-hmm.
America with what?
Oh my
All
god.
right, let's see this one. I know anything and everything wanted me to see this.
Let's kick it off with this. We got Zoran Mamdani. Guys, this is kind of a big deal.
Back
So
to
let me
it.
throw this up there on screen for you. It
Bring
says,
it back,
Mayor
bring it
Zoran
back,
Mamdani will be
bring it
able to
back.
appoint 6 members to the Rent Guidelines Board, giving him a majority of appointees to deliver his signature
Oh
campaign
boy,
proposal
let's go.
of a rent freeze for rent-stabilized
Alright.
apartments. So, and you see Ryan Grimm here says, tons of very smart, well-actually people spent the
rolling.
campaign saying Mamdani simply couldn't
This
deliver on
way?
this promise. It's February. And he did.
Yeah.
So think about it. We already have universal childcare. That's already basically been given a green light because Kathy Hochul is willing to deliver the
There you
funds
go.
to
We're
work
gonna
with
hit this
Mamdani on
button.
that. By the way, this is
All
like
right.
why Zoran endorsed Kathy Hochul. He understands he has to work with her being mayor of New York.
Yeah.
And so in his mind, he's like, look, do I want the revolution? Of course I want the revolution. But since I'm the mayor of New York, I need to deliver for New Yorkers right now.
Need to loot.
And so
He said
this
loot.
is the way he figured on doing
Holy
that.
shit.
I'll endorse Kathy Hochul. It's tit for tat.
He actually said
She'll deliver
loot.
for me. I deliver for her.
Yep.
And then one of the ways she's doing that is universal childcare, which she supports, right?
Mhm.
So that's a huge W. One of his like 4 major campaign promises. And now he already delivers on the rent stabilized thing. It's going to happen now. So, I mean, amazing that we've been told all these years as lefties, like, look, the problem with you guys is you're pie in the sky. The problem with you guys is you don't know how the world actually works. And so, like, once
Well, that was the corporatist mindset, and that's done by design. Ah, you want too much. It's not realistic, and then nothing gets done.
you're in power, it's harder than you think to deliver on these promises. And, like, the system is complex.
Well, that's the thing with fucking fascists, dude. You know, they're like, oh, just keep agreeing. Like, as soon as you disagree once.
Tariffs where you don't care about upholding the Constitution. Also, I shit my pants.
Oh my god.
And there's all these different moving parts, and you got to contend with the Republicans.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, yeah, we can't get anything done, but we won't make anything. Basically, what the corporatist fucking bullshit Democrats ran on is we just won't make anything worse. And, like, the bar would just be lowered and things would get worse, but we won't make it worse than what it's already worse at now, we promise. Fuck off with that. Pay fucking taxes for you not to do a fucking thing.
Right.
And contend with the Democrats who don't agree with you. And it turns out that where there's a will, there's a way. And the thing is, Zoran actually wants to do these things, so he's able to do these things. And this is how we thought it always worked, because FDR, you know, in the grand scheme of things, FDR was not that long ago. Like, in real terms, it kind of was, but in the grand scheme of things, it was not that long ago.
What's up, Brendan?
Hi, I'm back. I've been looking at photos of Windows on the World, which was the 5-star food establishment on the top floors of WTC Tower 1. Very beautiful views. Very classy place.
Yeah, it was an iconic place, too. That's where the Falling Man came from as well. The iconic Falling Man photo.
And this motherfucker was elected 4 times, held 80% of the House, 80% of the Senate, and got his whole fucking agenda through like it was nothing.
Hell yeah.
Because he was willing to play politics for the right ideas.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, here's the thing is, Zoran really understood what a
wow, that
like his
sucks.
administration. He
Holy
knew he
shit.
was under a magnifying glass. Because there's
Shit ton of
nothing
emotions
that,
with that
the
one, right?
local tabloid press, the New York Posts of the world, or the national Republicans or the establishment Democrats would love to do more than say, like, oh, sure, you know, he was able to do a great TikTok video, but then when push comes to
Yeah, because not just the fucking lunatic Republicans that are in office right now. The corporatist Democrats don't want to see him succeed. Because then that means that people are like, oh wow, if we vote for someone like Zoran, things will actually happen. And they hate that. They don't want anything to happen. The system's working for them, and that's all they care about.
Shove, he's terrible as a mayor, and this is what they did to De Blasio very effectively.
Even
right?
though he got some wins too, but sorry.
He did. He got some wins, but even within that, because there wasn't such an ability to message on this, and there were some like bumbles and incompetence and whatever. Even though he had those wins, they were able to spin a narrative about how he was such a terrible mayor, et cetera, et cetera. So Zoran knew he had no margin for error, and he has been damn near perfect in terms of his execution. And it's everything from the big campaign centerpieces that he's already accomplishing to little sort of symbolic things. I'm going to build more public restrooms. I'm going to steam clean the subway. I'm going to open up these observation decks for all of New York. It also has a lot to do with the communication, because you can do those things and no one knows about them, and then it really doesn't matter. So he modeled his governing style after the sewer socialists, whose first and foremost commitment was like, okay, we're not going to be ideological pie in the sky. We're going to be pragmatic. We're going to actually deliver things that people can feel in their lives. That's a model that he's drawing from, and he's being very effective in being able to pursue that. The rent board thing is an interesting one. Ryan's theory is that this guy, Eric Adams, tried to screw this up for Zoran. He was like on his way out the door. He
He did a pump and dump crypto. Eric Adams. That's insane. He made a pump and got like $1 million and just rug pulled it like overnight, and then said he didn't keep the money. The fuck?
Put someone in that was going to be opposed to freezing the rent. And Ryan's theory is that guy looked at this massive popular mandate for rent stabilization and basically didn't want to be the guy who's like the face of standing in the way of that, and was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm like a wealthy guy. I can just go about my life and not have to worry about being demonized in this particular way. So I think that's how he accomplished that. But the other thing that people were really impressed with was the snow.
Get the fuck out of here, Zap.
As a black man, that's what bothers me so much
Get out
about
of here.
Dems. They seek the black vote by
What are you
pitching
doing?
New York
Yeah.
bad as the Republicans, when in reality, both sides could give two shits about black folks.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we don't want to help with any of your rights. We don't care about Medicare for all. We're the only developed nation in the world. Literally,
it's been
that doesn't
25
have it.
years, and we let the fear take root in the society we call the free world. I wish people would wake up. Bush Jr. is to blame, but that's my opinion. Emperor Palpatine vibes for real, though.
Yeah. Oh, dude, remember Patriot Act? Have a lot of questions about 9/11. More than ever.
Snow removal. Here in DC, the snow removal was total and complete shit. It sucked. They didn't do a good job. In New York, people were very satisfied with how effective the local government was under Zoran in something that is very impactful in terms of people's quality of life. So on all of those metrics of like the big priorities to the day-to-day governance, he's been really, he's been really great. And I would say too, I was sort of critical of some of the decision making around the political trade-offs, like deciding not to endorse.
Bro, I main a Sparrow.
But at this point, given how effective it is, I have to say, I would defer to his judgment over mine, because he is doing such an incredible job, and it seems like the political compromises he's been making
Hakeem Jeffries sucks.
have been paying off.
He already cracked down on shitty landlords too, I should point out. He signed an executive order for rental rip-off hearings. So it's going to apply pressure to those landlords and basically get them to back off. There was also that really cool thing, which was the first time ever.
Oh no, I appreciate the support. Yeah, what's up with the $10 trade? Not complaining.
The New York City mayor did this, but ordered a deep cleaning of the subway system, which I'm sure people will absolutely appreciate.
Yeah. Fixed like a pothole that was a pain in the ass to bikers throughout the city. And I mean, these sorts of little things just makes you feel, okay, like he's paying attention from the ground level up. And, I think he also, he treats New Yorkers like they're adults. you know, he's talking to them about, okay, this is the reality of the budget. These are the numbers that we're working with. These are the trade-offs that we're trying to make. He's inserted, like, you know, some of the language of, frankly, like Doge-esque language, but in a positive way into he's forcing every single department to come up with savings to make the government more efficient. So again, people feel like their tax dollars are being well used, etc. I think it's all very intelligent and been very well received so far.
He also cut fees for small businesses. So to your point about the Doge stuff, positive connotation, not negative connotation.
Oh my God! It's someone who's progressive is better for small businesses. I thought trickle down economics. We have to fucking suck the dick of billionaires because they throw crumbs. Oh my God! Fuck Reagan for brainwashing people with that shit. It's just factually untrue.
Connotation. He's actually like working class people who are entrepreneurs. He's actually looking out for them too. To your point. Couple other things. You mentioned De Blasio there. De Blasio is a victim of a relentless, ruthless, disgusting right-wing press that lied about him because he did universal pre-K in New York City. Massive, massive W. He also raised the minimum wage. So like on those two things alone,
he froze the rent too.
Froze the rent too. I'm a Yeti Man fanboy. I am. The Yeti Man is positive. I like Yeti Man. So that's one thing. The other thing was, and this is actually really interesting, he gave a speech. Zoran went out and gave a speech and basically said, look, we may have to raise property taxes. We may have to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm telling y'all I don't want to do that. I'm on record as not wanting to do that. But the other option is we need to increase income taxes on the richest New Yorkers a whopping 2%. But he needs Kathy Hochul's buy-in for that. And Kathy Hochul has been relentless in saying, I'm not going to support a tax increase on the wealthy. So she's been saying that, right? So this is his way of, this is political chess from his perspective, where he gives the press conference and says, I don't want to do this thing, but...
Yeah, it's smart. So he's putting the blame and onus publicly on her.
I have to because I'm statutorily required to balance the New York City budget. But if I end up having to do this thing, I just need all you guys to know, blame her.
Yeah.
Blame her. Because she's the reason. I'm telling you what I want to do, which is the 2% increase in income taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers. You know, it's a brilliant move because that also applies political pressure where it needs to be applied.
Yeah.
So in other words, he's willing to play nice when playing nice works, but he's also willing to play hardball when playing hardball works. But the right is being so dishonest about that press conference that he gave.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, they are just lying. Every single headline is like, Zoran Mamdani raising property taxes on working class New Yorkers and stabs the
In seconds. Yeah, I saw them. I saw them.
Deals are for Dignaz, either I have said.
Movement in the back and all stuff like that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Hello, Rich.
It's what I expected.
Did you have fun with Arc Raider?
You know, it's a kind of like a looter shooter. It's fine.
And it's like, you guys are, there's not like, oh, maybe they're misinterpreting it or misunderstanding. No, they are just lying. If you watch that whole speech he gives, the whole speech is he's like, I don't want to do this. I'm against this. We have a way to not do this, but it needs to be approved by Albany, and that's why I'm giving this speech, so that everybody calls Kathy Hochul, calls Albany, and says, hey, we want this. We don't want the property taxes to go up, right? So, and that's the other thing, and it ties in to the de Blasio point. It's like, they're going to have to work overtime to try to even get stuff to play gotcha with Zoran on. You know, it's like this whole panic going on this week where Randy finds like, the Muslims want to ban you from having dogs as pets. And it's like, this is how much you guys have nothing. And the answer is yes, they have absolutely nothing. So they got to make up some bullshit.
It also fortifies their base too, because they know like the brain dead ones that are still there, they're still there. And this like emboldens them.
The Muslim woman was like, yeah, under Islam, you know, it's better to not have dogs as pets. They have a place in society, but we don't want them as pets. And they took that as if it was in like a fucking policy proposal that was handed in by Zoran. right?
Well, I mean, the whole thing is so stupid.
It's so
Also,
stupid.
that lady was just making a joke about the fact that, like, with all of the snow, there's all of this, like, dog shit everywhere in the snow, and it's like an internal New Yorker joke about how gross and disgusting this is. So, anyway, and she's not an aide to Zoran.
I know, they just lie.
I mean,
They just lie.
Completely. They just lie. And the New York Post has been utterly shameless. There have been some of these headlines that people have passed around. Like, one of them was,
got a
you know,
YouTube
something about
notification.
Zoran was unrepentant after stealing a table in college or something like that.
Oh
Another
my
one was they were
God.
trying to make it like it was a negative thing that after the snow that they had school. It was online school. It was like a remote learning day, and Zoran zoomed into it, and they tried to make it like it was a negative, like he was such a party pooper and these kids can't go out and play in the snow or whatever. It's like, I think most people support kids getting education and like.
Yeah. And at first they tried to make it like, no, they have to go to school that day. Like he was making them walk up a hill in a blizzard.
Like not missing school days, but anyway, they've been very desperate, to your point, to try to smear him on anything, and he's given them very little to work with. And I think that's where his communication style really matters, because if you can buy New Yorkers into the story you're telling about the city and about the roadblocks you're facing and what the choices are that are being made and the trade-offs and where, you know, people are standing in the way of your agenda, like with Kathy Hochul and the, you know, tax increase on the wealthy, then you have your own ability to explain what's going on, and they're not just getting their information from the fucking
Men
manning around.
Exactly.
New York Post.
Mike
The
Tyson,
right
thank
is
you,
so
Minty.
lucky he can't run for president.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, they're so lucky, because this would be. We'd be talking about like 400 plus electoral college votes, bro.
I mean, I don't know about that, but we would be.
I do.
Like it would be not just one of these nail biters. This one wins by 1% or that way. It would be a true, clear mandate because
Who's
he
gonna
just
take
has
him
that
on?
level of talent and vision and seriousness. You know,
Like who's the candidate even going to be? Don Jr., Sloppy Steve Bannon, Steve
Yeah, they're all, even by their own party, unlikable.
Miller.
I mean, JD
Ron
Vance
DeSantis with his fucking platform shoes.
JD Vance is the most likely.
Eyeliner boy.
Yeah.
Eyeliner boys.
Who has negative fucking charisma.
Please. Oh my God, I want to see that so bad. Please. Can I bequeath him my birth certificate? Like, hey, I'll switch places with you. I'll be a naturalized citizen. You could be the natural born citizen. Am I allowed to do that?
We need to start pushing a constitutional amendment like right now.
I know. You're not kidding.
Yeah, I mean, but I guess that they could be a foreign asset. Yeah, like that not having that mandate where you have to be born in the States is sure, gee golly, stop that. It's failed. We are compromised because of foreign interference. Them being a born in the States citizen has not done a fucking thing. Tucker Carlson would be a problem. I would not want him as president, and I think he's trying to do in the Ron Paul pivot to try to lure people like me in. But he's another danger because here's the thing: he's smarter, more charismatic than Trump. I don't trust a fucking thing he says. I don't trust Tucker Carlson. I do not. Wait, is there something else he said, or is that just you bitching? I don't need to see MS Now bitching about that. Let's go. Too lazy. Andrew Schultz is completely turned on MAGA. Okay.
But I will say that this was a breaking point for me in the way that the administration responded to it. Like, I didn't think what's happening right now with ICE could happen in America. I genuinely did not think that was possible. I thought our institution, I thought the Constitution would hold up.
If you got cons, you got cons. Why would the Constitution? It is something. It is laws written onto a piece of paper, and yes, that means they are codified into law. But if there's no one there to enforce it, then it's just shit written on paper.
To it.
Oh man, these people fucking annoy me, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
You feel like you got conned. I mean, yeah.
I could call it a takeover, but that's why I have to come back to Trump has agency. Trump has agency. He's the one who's decided to embrace this neoconservative agenda to do all of this insane nonsense with Venezuela.
And hold him accountable for it.
And
don't chalk it up to the deep state. He's the guy in charge,
exactly.
and then pin his ass.
All right, so it looks like Andrew Schultz has.
I also feel that he rode the Trump wave into popularity, Andrew Schultz, and now he sees it's unpopular to support Trump. I don't really think he gives a fuck about any of it, to be quite frank with you.
Completely jumped off the Trump train after platforming him and voting for him. Now Schultz spends a lot of time on his podcast trying to distance himself from Trump and MAGA, which he gets a ton of shit for from everyone. You know, one thing both sides seem to agree on is... And
it's different than, like, when I won't keep on bringing up the person when, like, people are like, yeah, man, I fucked up voting for Trump. That's genuine when someone's sitting here as a random name in my chat. Like, nah, dude, I feel like you're doing this to save your career because when you think MAGA is said and done, you still want to have one. What did someone say? Oh, look, another grifter, Andrew Schultz, who was a Trump supporter for 10 minutes before his panties got wet, is calling ICE agents murderers. Well, they are. I truly despise these clowns like him more than the radical leftists who never change their stripes.
Andrew Schultz is a grifter. Whenever clips of him criticizing Trump go viral, everyone's like, dude, this is what you voted for. And people on the left call him a sellout for platforming Trump. And
he is. He is. Maybe it's genuine, but I don't trust these fucking guys. He's where he wants to make sure his pockets keep getting lined.
People on the right call him a sellout for backtracking on Trump. Like this MAGA influencer guy commented on a clip of Schultz criticizing ICE and called Schultz a grifter and said he despises him more than radical leftists. And then a left-wing influencer commented on the same clip and said, this dumbass voted for Trump, supported him, and did it to attract his base and get rich. F. Schultz. So it's good to see hating on Schultz is bipartisan. You know, at least he helps people find something they can agree on. It's also funny seeing him try to distance himself as much as possible from Trump.
You could just
like
see
Brilliant Idiots, you know, his podcast with Charlemagne. It always turns into a struggle session, and Charlemagne tries to help him backtrack, which I think Charlemagne secretly loves this and loves what Schultz is going through because he's a big Kamala Harris fan. You know, he interviewed and voted for her, and Schultz interviewed and voted for Trump. And during a recent episode, Charlemagne kept questioning Schultz about having Trump on, and you could tell he really wanted Schultz to admit he fucked up and got conned by Trump.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah. A lot of people will say, hey, Andrew.
He didn't get conned. He didn't care. It was for his fucking career, and he's doing this for his career, and you can't convince me otherwise. Bullshit, man.
Holy shit.
Drew, you know, you supported
Jesus
Trump.
Christ.
You scream.
I didn't support this at all. I've never supported his immigration policies.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You never did support his immigration policy. Next question.
Did you bring that up to him when he was doing an interview with you? I don't know. I didn't watch it, but I'm pretty positive that he didn't.
Did you not believe Trump would do any of the things that he said he was going to do because you didn't know, or because you believed in the guardrails of America?
I believe in the guardrails of America.
There's a shit ton of
like
pirates at
Trump
St.
on,
Jean.
Whatever, you know, you voted for him, whatever. It's okay to say when somebody's wrong that you voted.
Oh, God.
87 years ago, I unleashed the biggest loadout of my big, beautiful balls, followed by tremendous buckshot. Believe me, it was a dual explosion of satisfaction, a beautiful thing.
Listen.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Oh, man, I would love, we could make like an event out of it with listening to Stanley Kendall's phone calls. Some of them get
someone's sleeping
too much, though.
Before. I used to hear people that grew up in New York City tell me how good of a con artist he was. I'm like, nobody's that good. This man.
No, I even knew people that work for him with his construction company that were like, yeah, he doesn't pay. And
is good, okay? I don't know why he's good as a con artist, but he's good as a con artist.
1,000%.
If you got cons, you got cons.
Right. Yeah.
You feel like you got cons.
I mean, yeah. Well, it depends. Like when he came on the pod and he's like, yeah, we're going to go after the criminals. Now they're not going after the criminals. Like, yeah, I definitely do. I feel
Yeah, and then now they're sweeping for the child raping criminals. And the president is a child raping criminal too.
And I feel maybe naive to believe that. And I know that I'm sure there's other platforms where he's like, we're going to get them all out of here. So maybe he's saying whatever he's saying.
Easy.
I think more important than the vote, though, is the fact
so
that
fucking
people
easy.
Look at your platform and how large your platform is.
Yeah.
And they feel like you amplified it. But
they're not wrong. Listen, I don't think any criticism is wrong. That's why I said in the beginning, like, I'm not.
Yeah, I know ICE agents are not getting paid. Not all, I guess, but there's some that aren't getting paid.
Doing this like win anybody over. I just think it's like the right thing to speak out against, especially people in my situation. Because like I think there's a lot of people, that like sometimes they feel embarrassed or they feel shame or they don't want to get the public criticism, so they just kind of retreat to the base. And I think that's a lot of times what happens. It happens on the right, it happens on the left.
Yeah.
Because there's safety in the base, there's security in the base, there's support in the base, there's positivity in the base, right? Like as long as you just tell the company line,
to the one closest to us.
And that's just not who I am as a person,
Actually,
right? Like I try to be a nuanced thinker. If he fucks up, I'm on it. A nuanced thinker.
So why didn't you put him to task when he was on your show? You just rolled out a red carpet for him like Joe Rogan. You literally did that.
The fuck?
And you're not just the average fucking idiot MAGA voter. You have people like you and Joe Rogan probably gave him millions of fucking votes.
And Schultz started to backtrack pretty soon after Trump took office, but now he's totally jumped ship. So, of course, MAGA thinks he got worried his association with Trump could hurt his career. That's why he's going so hard against him now. He's trying to pander to the Hollywood liberal crowd. Like, he realized the tide was turning on Trump, so he wanted to get ahead of it. And recently, PBD covered Schultz criticizing Trump, and you could tell this is kind of what he wanted to say about it. He definitely thinks Schultz goes whatever way the wind blows, but you could tell he didn't really want to offend him, so he tried to say it the most polite way possible.
Schultz has been, and I think this is a calculated decision, going a little bit further left because he wants to have a good relationship with his mayor. He's a Hollywood guy now, more than a political guy.
I think Schultz is, I don't know how to say this. I'm going to say it. I think Schultz... How likely is it that Schultz studies the market of comedy very closely?
Yes.
How closely do you think he follows it?
As much as you possibly can.
Andrew.
Of course. And he sees that it is not popular to back this shit. And he's getting the fuck out of Dodge.
Schultz is a guy that's super capable. He started his career he was on Fox News a lot back in, I think he was on the 5, I don't know what show. He was regularly on one of these Fox shows. And then he recreated himself, probably because he wanted to be a mainstream comedian, and it kind of took off. And Schultz is not just a comedian. Schultz is very smart.
So I think eventually we'll start to see a war between the podcasters that backtracked on Trump. And
I know, but it's fucking going right to the other one.
Like every week, because every episode he goes off on Trump's administration.
We're about to have a double
with underage
legend
girls,
here.
which is wild because last year around this time.
Why? What's wrong with Ames? I'm gonna take the bait. Let's have some fun. What's wrong? Oh, you're one of those guys, dude. Ames. Oh wow, a female's giving some information, so female, so it has to be. What's literally get his opinion from people like this? Who should I get my opinion from?
Hi, Skid. Thanks, Skid.
You should.
Your whole smell is real good.
I know who he wants me to get my opinion from.
Hey, listen, I was here first.
Where is it?
But it's okay, I'll sniff your hole.
I'm gonna cook you the best.
Should I get my opinion from someone who looks like this? This?
By the way, this little shit's doing
or
fucking
this?
a ton of fucking damage.
This or this?
And?
That's it. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
He was helping the Trump administration do PR with the Epstein Files fiasco. You know, he met with J.D. Vance. And he also said he doesn't think Trump likes young girls. And he kept saying he just thinks Trump is scared the deep state will try.
Tim Dillon says he thinks President Trump is probably backing off the Epsteins. He knows they'll kill him. I don't think Trump knows that. I think Trump knows that they'll kill him. Do you think it doesn't cross his mind at all that these people...
Excuse me, let me see.
Attention, all Americans. Ligman,
Thank you,
in
Austin.
other news, the galactic empire of men has successfully made Terminator hybrids with
Bananas.
hidden Mac cannons.
Pitfall, holy
They
shit.
have to rub one out to fire. Tremendous bus.
Tremendous bus.
Tremendous
Your
bus, yes.
health.
Listen, have a bunch of people having to masturbate to fire a weapon.
B2W.
Oh, yeah, dude, it's such a... He's... Obviously, he's like that. I can tell by other shit he said. Oh, you listen to things from women? Gives a shit, dude. Really? Oh, Ames.
To kill him if he releases the files.
You need a big, strong, hairy man to make you feel secure in your opinion?
But now he's walked that back and he's like, I think Trump's guilty and I think he's probably had sex with underage girls. So they're really losing the Rogan sphere with this. I think Tony Hinchcliffe and Rogan are the only ones left to defend Trump, and maybe Theo Vaughn. But
yeah, because I think fucking...
Let's go north,
Rogan
everybody.
is literally financially propped up by the billionaires now. He had... but even now he's saying, like, nah, fuck that, man.
Schultz and Tim Dillon, it looks like, are completely done. They're both starting to think Trump is heavily implicated in the files.
So how powerful are the people that Trump is protecting? Or does Epstein or the powers that be have incriminating evidence on him prior to the
want to
2005? Evidence of him doing any...
Keep up these
I don't
two
even wanna mention horrible fucking things.
characters. You want to like just,
where he's willing to go down with the ship instead of just exposing it. Because if he did stop being friends with him, and he was sure that they didn't have anything, knowing Trump, wouldn't he just sell everyone else down the river?
Oh my God!
Gonna kill us.
He would like. Why doesn't anyone realize this? He would fucking. It
Someone's
doesn't matter who
snoring.
you were. He would throw everyone under the bus if he was truly exonerated.
That's what
I was hearing that.
See, I like
Called
Bill
it out.
Clinton.
I don't know.
What do you like about him?
Someone's cranking it.
Well, I liked his behavior toward me. I thought he got me. He understood me.
He's guilty. So I think...
Because they know they're going to have him there for a deposition all of a
got it.
sudden. I like Bill Clinton.
What?
Soon Trump might need to make a post.
Yeah, he gets me. I get it. We both raped women. That's exactly what it is, dude.
Post attacking the Rogan sphere, you know, to try to get these guys back in line.
you are.
Because, I mean, the left
At
is
least
having a
dead
field
inside
day
a
with
little
this.
bit.
Some of the videos about Schultz are like, Trump supporter admits he got played, and Andrew Schultz says the left was right about
Skill
Trump.
issues.
And during the last flagrant episode, they had on Sagar from Breaking Points, who also voted
Definitely
for Trump and is
skill
now really
issues.
disappointed about how things are going. So he has the same frustration as Schultz,
Lack of
and that's
attention.
probably why Schultz really likes having him on, so he can explain why Trump let them down. Also, he feels betrayed by people he interviewed as well.
We're just
who are
busting your
now part
balls.
of Trump's administration, like Tulsi Gabbard. He's like in shock about how quickly she abandoned her position on issues she claimed to have cared about.
Yeah, she's another one.
Andrew Schultz is IRL
Israel?
Luigi.
Yes, he does look like Waluigi. It's true. Well, Tulsi Gabbard's a Russian asset, 100%.
How do you feel about the current administration?
Well, how do you think I feel about the current?
I mean,
Is it coming across yet?
Well, tell us how you feel. Yeah, how do you feel? Like you are a conservative like this.
Because we've gotten no shit for criticizing.
Yeah, you had a very viral clip. I think what I'm the most disgusted by was the rhetorical use of a lot of principles which I really cared about. So, like, let's say, for example,
it's done.
anti-war
That is
and Iran,
that's
right?
a fucking
and
done
it's
ass
especially
shit.
galling to have sat across the table
Hell
from
yeah.
some of the people who are now currently in power, who are pushing or excusing this type of behavior, and not only that, who are either silent or actively working behind the scenes, not stopping the obvious, like, look, I could call it a takeover, but that's why I have to come back to Trump has agency. Trump has agency. He's the one who's decided to embrace this neoconservative agenda to do all of this insane nonsense.
They're
Venezuela,
shooting their own guy.
Like, and
Don't chalk it up to the deep state. He's the guy in charge,
exactly.
and then pin his ass.
He needs to be held, but it's also about the people around him, because
Of course,
I now
them
know
too.
for a fact they're not. If you take your role seriously, then you
Oh wow, I
actively
really
work for
needed to take that
type
last
of
shot.
principle that you ran on, and that you have literally sat across
You
the
just
table from
needed
me.
the-
And I'm not
the
talking about one
last
person. I'm talking about
hurrah.
a lot of different people here. Like I said, I'm in a weird position because now I know some of these people. Like I knew, like
this is what I'm so
Tulsi.
curious about,
You know what
like,
I'm saying? Like
yeah.
with Tulsi, like we sat across the desk.
Yeah.
I thought it was real. Like I really thought. And listen, I'm.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
all the
that's why
time.
she's the op. She's a good.
Well, let's roll this thing a little bit. Don't
I
smash
read
me.
a lot of books about politicians who lie to your face,
Appreciate that.
but it's another thing.
Wow.
Like to experience it,
Yeah.
and to experience it at a visceral level.
Yeah.
RFK Jr., I mean, how many times did I interview RFK? 4? How many?
I think 3.
3, 4? Right. I spent hours with this guy.
What do you
I
think
thought-
RFK's implications are?
Well, it's not about implications. I'm like, in the way that he's operating within HHS, and like they throw out this like bullshit for the masses on Twitter. But like, if you're a hardcore MAHA, like you should be furious about the way that this administration.
Yeah.
So Schultz and Tim Dillon have completely jumped ship, which makes things more difficult for Theo Von and Joe Rogan, who are still trying to be friendly with the administration. Like, I think Trump personally calls Rogan sometimes, so Rogan might get a earful of it soon because his comedy buddies are really making Trump look bad. But let me know what you guys think about it all, and if you want to hear about Alex Jones crashing out over the way Trump's handled the Epstein
smash
files,
into you
I've been covering
at
that
full
over on
speed.
Patreon. He just will not stop embarrassing
Yeah,
himself
that's the
for
best way to
Trump.
do it.
And it's so cringy, but it's also hilarious. So make sure you check that out. There are over 160 other exclusive videos, so there's a ton of stuff if you enjoy.
Yeah, this shit's wild, man. Oh my god. Wait, DK Oldies is. You always say they're streaming and they're not fucking streaming. Why do you keep telling me they're live? They're not live. You're lying to me. Is Phil live?
Oh my
Phil's
God, Phil
live.
is live.
Let's see.
It trades and I lose. Even though I interrupted the animation for the fucking projectile, it still comes out and hits me. This game is so fucking bad. I want you to think about that. Projectile.
Yep, right on cue. Yeah, are we live? That's the second time it's done it, so the page has been refreshed. It's the second time it's goddamn done it.
Boost.
All right, let's see, Phil.
Do anything.
I could already picture Mighty D clipping that right now. Oh, I look constipated in that picture.
Yeah, you gotta complain harder though.
We already saw this.
The better you're off. Yeah, honestly.
Erica Flight
Also,
Logs
it'll
is
change
bizarre.
direction immediately. But just not
I got
notice
a
it.
lot of- We saw that. Ah, yes, yes.
For many viewers,
mute, yeah.
QVC, which I'm still amazed that it's around even in some form, but it is. And here we can see its downfall.
the rhythmic, comforting
and death.
sound of a QVC host describing the luster of a Diamonique ring or the specific features of a new air fryer was the background music to American life. But for QVC, that nostalgia's been replaced by a clinical corporate dread. By May 2025,
I want
because
to shoot this privateer so bad.
What do you need QVC now for? In
Hey, Pitfall, you want to
2026?
go in on this last
Cater to
privateer?
that aging, dwindling audience that still
Yeah,
hasn't
I'm gonna kill
moved
this
past
last
1997.
privateer.
The company that once owned
never mind, it wants
shopping
my
in
cheeks.
the living room was issuing going concern
wonder why.
warnings and taking the kind of measures that companies reach for when they're trying to remain on the right side of NASDAQ. But that isn't the story. The story was what that implied.
little tight lady boy.
QVC wasn't expanding into a new era. It was a business trying to survive the end of the era it was built for. The pioneer of live shopping isn't the king anymore. It's now an underdog seeking.
The only way QVC could survive, could still exist for now, is
Yeah, this
if
is
they
very funny.
leaped into becoming Amazon before Amazon became Amazon.
distribution on TikTok, desperately trying to find the audience it used to call its own.
That's what it would do.
The story began in 1986 when Joseph Siegel, an entrepreneur who saw the untapped potential of televised retail, launched QVC. The name was an acronym for
There was another place called CBN.
quality, value, and convenience. And the
Broadswords
mission was to
is
create a
mentioning
retail
that
experience
Yeah, look at that. A VHC camera, right?
that felt more like a conversation than a high-pressure sales pitch. Siegel's primary contribution to the industry
Just killed
was
himself.
his soft sell philosophy, where hosts acted as friendly guides rather than aggressive salespeople. This built a level of trust that traditional retailers struggled to match.
And at the time, it was bleeding edge because it was a way that you could shop from home. too.
Bye-bye.
By 1987, the network was broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, becoming a constant presence in the lives of its viewers.
Yeah, but look what
It
happens.
didn't take long for the network to become a household name, expanding its reach by buying
What is the fuck is that?
other shopping channels like CVN in 1989.
Yeah, there it is, CVN. I wasn't losing
By
my
the
mind.
early 1990s, QVC was much more than a niche cable experiment. It was a cultural phenomenon that reached millions of homes and generated billions in revenue through a mix of their own brands and exclusive celebrity partnerships. In 1997, the company moved into its massive Studio Park headquarters in Westchester, Pennsylvania, a building that represented the peak of the televised retail era. At this point, the business was a juggernaut, expanding
Yeah, and even in 97, the internet was in its infancy, and this was still considered the way to...
into the United Kingdom, Germany, and later Japan and Italy. The model was simple but effective. They would buy inventory in bulk, sell it at a margin through an engaging live broadcast, and ride the massive scale of the television audience. Unlike traditional department stores, QVC didn't have the overhead of thousands of physical locations. Its direct-to-consumer relationship was decades ahead of its time. Then, in 2003, John Malone's Liberty Media took full control of the network by buying the stock it didn't already own from Comcast for $7.9 billion. They weren't just buying a shopping channel. They were buying a massive cash flow powerhouse that seemed resilient to the rise of early e-commerce. Malone turned QVC
Yeah, but it never was resilient. It was stupid of them to think that.
into the engine of his media empire, using the revenue of millions of loyal
Common
viewers to fuel years of corporate growth. During this era, the network's 24/7 reach and high-margin proprietary brands made it one of the most stable and reliable assets in the Liberty portfolio. But as the 2010s progressed, the rise of online shopping and the decline of traditional cable viewership began to create cracks in the foundation. This is where the story starts to turn, because the business didn't suddenly forget how to sell. It's not like the
Everyone forgot about the business because they moved on.
hosts didn't suddenly lose their touch or that the products stopped moving. What changed was the environment. QVC's advantage was built around a medium that still dominated, and a cable bundle that people had by default. When TV's dominance began to fall, QVC didn't just lose customers.
Oh my god.
Who the hell made Terminator hybrid clones of the hard cowboys at Ram Ranch? We are receiving reports of mass destruction around Ram Ranch.
It's like
this heresy will not go unpunished. This is madness.
Oh my God, I feel like it's a special news story in Trump's reading at the Oval Office.
It lost the conditions that made its model feel effortless. In August 2015, the company tried to modernize by buying the online retailer Zulily for approximately $2.4 billion. The logic was that they could use Zulily to attract a younger clientele through their mobile presence, as nearly 50% of Zulily's orders were coming from mobile devices at the time. Executives thought that by combining QVC's video expertise with Zulily's flash sale model, they could create a powerhouse that appealed to every demographic. But in reality, it was much more difficult than the spreadsheets suggested.
Well, especially by that point, Amazon was so ingratiated to try to become a competitor to it was too little too late. The only one that isn't except Best Buy found a place. It's interesting. Best Buy figured out the formula to their credit. You know what I mean?
Zulily's member-only, discount-driven model often clashed with the high-touch, trust-based culture that QVC had built over 3 decades, and management found that the two customer bases didn't overlap as seamlessly as they'd hoped. QVC's core demographic valued the storytelling and host relationships, while Zulily's shoppers were often looking for quick, deep discounts on boutique brands. It was something of a cultural mismatch that made the expected synergies slow to materialize, and rather than pivoting away from the television model, the company decided to double down on it. In July 2017, the company announced an all-stock deal to buy the remaining 62% stake in its longtime rival, HSNI, the parent company of the home shopping network. The transaction was valued at approximately $2.1 billion in
Jesus, these motherfuckers just throw around that money, huh?
Equity value, with HSNI shareholders receiving shares of QVC Group's main voting stock for every share they owned. The goal was to consolidate the linear television shopping market, creating a TV beast that could negotiate better terms with suppliers and broadcasters while cutting hundreds of millions in costs. But this also tethered the company's future to a distribution medium that was beginning to collapse. In 2017, the pay TV industry saw
everyone.
a
Now
loss
we're
of
gonna
about
get right
1.5 million subscribers. But that acceleration hit a tipping point in 2018 when losses spiked to 2.9 million. The company tried to rebrand itself to reflect this new diversified structure, changing the name of the parent company from Liberty Interactive to Curate Retail Group in 2018. The new name was meant to signal a focus on curated shopping experiences across QVC, HSN, and Zulily. But the rebranding couldn't mask the underlying issues. By 2019, the business was facing new external pressures that hit its margins directly. Tariffs on Chinese imports impacted the costs for their core products. And because
they're cheap shit core products. A lot of those things, man, I'm like, that thing costs you next to nothing to get.
QVC relied heavily on international sourcing, these tariffs forced them into a difficult position. Shoppers were becoming spooked by rising costs, leading to a decline in sales and profits, just as the company needed to invest in its digital transformation. The supply chain disruptions that followed only added to the squeeze, making it harder for the company to keep the value part of its QVC promise. In late 2021, the company brought in David Rawlinson II as president and CEO, tasking him with navigating an increasingly treacherous retail landscape. Rawlinson's mandate was to turn the company